we start?
So yeah.
Yeah, so thank you for coming first of all. Stylight, it's like one big fashion company, and like one word about Stylight, we are trying to build like the best place on the internet of like shopping online. So, and like from more detailed point, we can say that we're trying to aggregate from different internet shops like products after like professional platform. Use our like community of fashion trendsetter and build a great product for people. It's the best user experience that you can reach for fashion. And here's another guy sitting here. It's our like CTO, Sebastian. So like a big thanks for this event, also for our CTO. So my name is Sergi. I'm working at this company, and the topic of my talk today is data visualization with R. I will try to bring you some simple example from real life. How can you like use R not only for like scraping some data and like building some complicated models to find some like insight and like some regression models, whatever. Some just to try something simple. I mean, we have lots of holidays and people just can bring something interesting and some pictures. So that's the agenda for today. So basically, I will have like 3 examples, like simple like this, and I will explain what like pitfalls I have with them, what like could be like troubles for people who are trying to solve them, and explain what kind of libraries you can use for it. So like base story. Another question, why R? I mean, of course we are a community of R developers and we like it, but sometimes even like for R developer, there's like question like, why do I use it? Like lots of things that are not so like good for me and like still could build some languages that for some points could be quite useful. And I took some statistics from, for instance, on this graph you can see like numbers of topic of Stack Overflow with some language, and R is like constantly growing. I mean, for some of topics and text, it's not so significant like data or visualization, because I don't know, people don't use Stack Overflow for such things. You can use like Kaggle or like more specialized websites for this stuff, but still it's like growing. One thing could be that it's still like not so easy to use R, but another point is like more people using this stuff. From another point, there was like some survey for like data analytical people and data scientists and whatever, and they asked us like what kind of languages do you use and like what is like, I don't know, your top languages from your daily life. And as you can see, R skills also like quite winner, and yeah, that's why we use it. From another point, you know about like lots of different like packages for like almost every topic, and it's very easy to prototype. I mean, for production solution, sometimes it's like not so much, but like you can get some kind of insight. You can get it like very fast, and it's flexible and reliable. So first example is everyone, like almost everyone, has some Twitter account, and like all this like social media like growing up, and especially after like IPO of Twitter is like big things, and like lots of people like it. So one of the Fridays, like after work, I was like, would be interesting to see what like people saying about my company. And like another good point about it, that Stylight is not only a German company, but besides we have this like headquarters in Munich, but we also like online in 11 countries from now, I think. So it would be even more interesting to find some topics from different people and like to see what kind of distribution between languages and so on. So it's like simple task. Write Twitter word cloud and to see visualization of this stuff. And you can do it like for your company, and after like, I don't know, write t-shirt with that stuff. Quite fancy. Yeah, how can you get data actually from there? Of course, there is like a package for it, because Twitter is big. Twitter is quite flexible, because you can, I don't know, get data from different topics. You can different distribution of countries, and it's quite fun to play around as like a data scientist, because the distribution of data is quite different. Yeah, I use this library, and I even found some scripts like to see some use cases for that stuff, but I face it as like problem. I cannot use it like directly. What was the point of it? That actually, like back in days, Twitter has like some public API, and after they changed it, and lots of like scripts that they're like in internet you cannot use. The problem is that you need to get this like pin code from Twitter with your, like, creating your application, and after you can use it. Like, so here's like a simple snippet how can you use it. And yeah, beforehand you need to register this application on Twitter Developer Console. You will get this like consumer key and consumer secret, and yeah, and after you can do like actually handshake. The funny story is that if you use some like RStudio, maybe for R, yeah. The problem is RStudio was like, I don't know, a month ago or something, at least I tried this example back in days, that when you're trying to get this like pin code for Twitter with handshaking, you cannot like copy this like big link for this stuff. And yeah, I think right now they have somebody reported about this stuff, and maybe they solved it for now. Yeah, after you got all this data, what's also fun from Twitter are that you need actually to parse this web page that you got from Twitter API. And you got to like parse it and like object. What would you need for such task? TM package could be used for text mining and using some ways, you know, building some magics of purpose and stuff like this. And the package for actually displaying this for cloud. Yeah, and here's like another nice package to use like colors and colors palettes for this stuff, because yeah, data-related people sometimes doesn't have like a good feeling of beautiful things, and we need to play around to get some simplification for us, and this package could work for us. Yeah, from code to actually quite simple, and yeah, another notation that all examples that I have in my presentation today, you can find on my blog and try to play around with that. There's also like a link to his on GitHub, and there's like a code and some comments of that stuff. I will like follow, like say a link like afterwards. Yeah, so basically what we do, we're trying to remove some words from there, trying to do like a matrix after creating like a data frame out of this data, and yeah, using proper stuff to get some nice color palette, and after actually building this stuff. So it's not complicated. I mean, yeah, for setup and find some pitfalls, it could take some time, but like afterwards you're getting like a nice picture of distribution for your countries. Yeah, and what you see from picture actually, that some of like very active users back in days were like Spanish people. That's why you see some like Spanish words. If somebody understands Spanish, you can see some knowledge of it. Yeah. Another good example of visualization from Twitter is Twitter follower map. Actually, the script was online from, if you know, blog Simply Statistics blog, and there is a guy, Jeff Leak, and it's from him. Also, it didn't work for me right like straightforward, because you need to download SSL small file to get approved from Twitter, and after it worked, so basically. Yeah, and out of it is a distribution of your followers of some Twitter map. Of course, it's not like all followers, just people who specify some location, and after you found this location from the location database. Yeah, script also available in the references in another kind of visualization task, if you have, I don't know, some data and or you have some time and you want to see some story. Well, actually, story means, from my point of view, if you have some, I don't know, point in time like A and point in time in B, and you want to follow like changes between them. I don't know, how your product was like growing up, or like what kind of users were coming like from different platforms, or like distribution of products or something. I'm pretty sure that you have seen some of them like from Twitter or like Facebook. This like kind of animation, like movies, and something like is going on the map, and like people like trying to follow each other's, or like Twitter activity map, like people tweeting stuff. So yeah, it was my another task. I was interested if you have like international company, and like especially like back in early days, I wanted to see like how people like coming from this like website, from like what kind of countries, and like to see like in the yeah, first of all, MySQL. Somebody was like not very happy with MySQL, but if you use it like on some more, I don't know, mature days of your development, you have more structured data, and yeah, you don't need to have some changes that like just, I don't know, immediately change something from one point. Or from another point, you can do it like very efficiently. I mean, if you have some joins and your data is very good to like distribute into tables and normalized, it could be quite good database. So not for everything you can use the SQL databases. Yeah, there is a package MySQL, so basically not very difficult to remember, and I try to use this package for my Windows machine. It's like another point that I know sometimes for data analysis it's better to use some Linux machine and don't have like any pain with that. But yeah, if you do some business intelligence task as well, not all tools are available for Linux. I know if you use Tableau or have some pain with Tableau, anybody Tableau? No? I have some question about it, that's why I'm asking. Don't use it, like never. It's very buggy. Yeah. So what's the problem I had? I actually wanted to install this package, but no. As a data scientist, I use lots of RAM on my laptop, and I wanted to put all the stuff in. And Windows is x64 for that stuff, and no package cannot install it. So, what is the solution for it? You need to install MySQL C connector, find this like DLL, and after when you will set it up like environment, MySQL only after this stuff you can install. So it's quite painful. Also, can say if you like just need to play around with your data, and after you're like, okay, it doesn't work, cannot recompile it, and like stuff like this. Thank you, Microsoft. Yeah. From another point, if you have I don't know some kind of tables with users, you don't store where they're from like originally. Or if you store, they will write like everything, like internet, whatever stuff, and you never will find what's like. And yeah, so the problem I was faced during this task is like how to get the actual geo point from your like I don't know IP location. So basically, I was checking lots of like websites for getting this information without writing some captchas for every user. Yeah, and found. This website, datasciencetoolkit.org, and they actually, I think they have some visual image that you can download and play around good like for some initial test and playing this data. Yeah, this you can see simple function how to actually get a simple page from there. So you like you have this API base URL. After you combine it with your IP address, this function and after you get URL and yeah, basically getting from result what you need. Another problem is that if you have some significant number of records in your database, it's going to be like very long time because latency, because website somewhere like far away and you cannot like run lots of queries. So now I end up with writing some simple I don't know Go script with some virgins that just load in all this like database from MaxMind, I think, this website, when you can download big database with distribution by cities IP address. And yeah, actually I want to like open source the script to get like other people possibility to use it. What actually the script could be used for, that you load your database with IP geolocation database like only once, and after like on localhost getting from simple API, what do you need? Yeah, for that you will get all location for your points. Yeah, about maps. So to display this stuff, you need to get some maps. You need to get some orientation in maps, because if you will use only picture, you will not be able to know where it's like actually Munich or like what's going on there. So there are like a couple of packages that you can use for visualizing some maps. One of them is like pretty standard. I think it is like Maps name of it. Yeah, and this package you can build pictures like this. So initially I wanted just like to display world map and show some points where it's like user from some time frame. You can say that map is pretty like big and like all points are located like in one location. Yeah, actually with this map, I think I have somewhere like after like examples when I will show you code. You can specify what kind of countries you are interested in. But since we're an international company, we were interested to get like more space and like show it like overall. So not on this slide because it's like back in days, but still. Yeah. When you will display this stuff, you will get like simple pictures of I don't know, every time frame that you want to group by. Afterwards, you need to like make some picture, like I don't know, moving picture of it, because like I don't know, having lots of pictures is not fun. you wanna get it like moving, because I don't know, people like moving stuff. And it's more fancy than just like static. I don't know. For this stuff, the first idea of me was to ask this back community, that actually stands for Moving Picture Expert Group, so that people should be like really experts on it. So you can format this stuff from lots of your PNG images in some folder into one MPG file. The problem with that was that quality, because of codecs, is not so good, especially for pictures that I had in my slides. I mean, it's a very big one and like small points on it, it's not very good for codecs to optimize the stuff. So even with like quality like 100, it's still like not so good to like actually like sharing with people, like take a look at now and like ask some presentation or reservations and stuff. So I ended up with converting just to GIF. Yeah, it's not so flexible if you want to add some like, I don't know, action inside and I don't know, more creative stuff of it, but still, it's still with good quality. So you just specify like your files, you want to say that it's going to be like in loop, that it will not stop like after one loop. And that's all. And Science and R, you can find package for everything actually. There's like a package that there's a wrapper for this image magic library. The name of it is animation. With this package you can actually, with a simple R function, create this animation and whatever stuff. So the simple solution for it is just function set GIF. When inside this function you can generate some plots and display them, or like this. And after like out of it you will get a GIF image of all you created there. So nothing like really fancy. And since it's PDF, you will not see like any movement stuff, but it should be here. Yeah, it's not very big, but it seems that points are moving.
Yeah. Is there one user traveling the world, or what's the little one dot there?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, maybe some of co-founders were like moving. I don't know. No, I didn't do like any analysis there, but still like some of them just try from different side.
Is this real time?
No. You can do it in real time actually, but for this case I was more interested in story, and for story you need like real time. Real time is some, I don't know, real time news and not story. Different words for it. Okay, should be fast. Okay. So, and from title. So the last problem, as you remember, was like, I don't know, it was New Year like a couple of weeks ago, and what people usually do before, or like a couple of days before New Year, it was like all the time, yeah, another year is done, like what have I done for that year, like what is like, I don't know, my big story of this year or something like this. And since like data scientist or like data addicted person, you're gonna like, yeah, I can write some script for it. Because I don't know, if I use some like Foursquare or stuff like this, I can actually try to retrieve some data and yeah, do it like more easy than just like checking some pictures and trying to remember where I have been like in April or something. So yeah, the main idea.
So you had 10% battery left.
The main idea was to get data from Foursquare, because I like Foursquare and use this service. But you can actually use like Facebook or like whatever service what has API and can be I don't know, download data from there. Yeah, and I used it to download this data and after to see like what kind of countries I like visited or like places and whatever stuff. What is interesting about it is that I don't know, did this slide some week ago or something, and right now Foursquare they changed it a bit, and if you have been to some like country with different language, like I don't know, like Ukraine or like Russia or whatever stuff, they change name not only Russia but like Russia in Cyrillic, and instead of 8 you will have like 12 countries because of like Germany, Deutschland and stuff like this. But still you can filter it somehow. Yeah, and out of it you can build some, I don't know, some simple stuff like how many like check-ins I did like for different months, or try to build it like on the map. Like another libraries that I told about maps you can use, it's Google Maps. What is good things and bad things about our Google Maps? First of all, it's I don't know, quite flexible, if you can say, in terms of point of view. Why? Because you can download different view of map. You can do it like mobile map or some satellite map and like some nice maps, I can say. I mean, for lots of countries it looks like almost the same, besides the satellite map, but if you do like inside a city, it could show you like more beautiful pictures and people more beautiful pictures. Yeah, and this is like a final result of it. I will show some code as well. How does it look like actually? And how to work with such maps. Yeah, like about Foursquare. Yeah, so basically here's a simple function to get your check-ins from Foursquare, and I do like Foursquare for such simple APIs that you don't need like to play around with some like handshake like for Twitter to just like verify that you have this account and stuff like this, so it's quite simple. So we are getting, if you want to use this the same function for the next year, you will need some parameters for it. Yeah, and you define some template when you need to get this API, some formatted string, and after you add your parameters inside. Yeah, you get like JSON, and after JSON you can simply get to objects, so it's not so difficult in comparison with just HTML without any structure. Yeah, and after you can build, you need to map the structure. So, why do you have 2 times template? Strange. Yeah, you don't need it actually. Yeah, and after you map it inside, build some data frame out of it, and you can use the data frame. This is what I told about Twitter, that if you need to get certificate before for SSL, it's better to download it before, and after you can prove it that you can use proofs for the stuff. Yeah, because you can see my private key for this stuff. Yeah. Take a picture and parse lots of data. Yeah. And yeah, there's a base stuff how you can get the stuff, and yeah, about maps. So to get simple, yeah, it's like interface to write just map from standard maps library. And here you can put, like, it's quite simple, just use like points to use a point, to specify like how big it should be, and so on. And another nice thing with Google Maps, for instance, if you have distribution between different countries of points, and you don't want to do it like on your own, to decide like what kind of area it should be, like to get the maximum scalable picture of it, and still to have all these like points on this inside this box. So you can use function QB box, and you just specify all your longitudes and latitudes, and you will get it like in one. I mean, and after you just log in this map box, and yeah, okay, I will actually try to show it. And after this function, yeah, it shows that you're actually getting something out of it. Yeah, so what I can say about all this stuff, that R is quite flexible language, and you can easily use it not only for building some very complicated and I don't know, difficult analysis, but also to show some simple visualization, and after use it like for, like, I don't know, negotiation with your community department, or like people who will not understand your lots of crazy numbers. There's my regression model for your users and stuff like this. So you can build some simple stuff without like spending lots of time, and it's still very flexible, not like Tableau as I mentioned before. And yeah, I was happy to use stuff like this. So yeah, thank you for your attention, and I'm ready to answer some of the questions if you have any of them.
back to the black word map where Twitter thing, the spikes at the very beginning. How much customizing can be done? For example, can you also embed numbers and stuff, or is it do you have to stick to kind of this setup, or are you free to?
Yeah, it's absolutely like flexible. I mean, all these lines is just like curves of a circle, and you just like point it from like beginning point to something. Here you can see some text as well that you can point at. I mean, even for this story of your data that I told, like second example, you can put some timeline, what's actually like frame you see right now. So it's quite flexible. I mean, for some of point you can use different layers of color and to see like some alpha channels and stuff like this. So it's quite flexible, like for art. So yeah.
Does it have to do anything with ggplot too, or is it like traditional graphic devices?
Traditional graphic devices. You can do the same stuff with PDF, images, and even some extended formats. I think for you mean like drawing stuff, like the map for maps. One was maps, one Google Maps, or Google Maps, I think.
But the black one is with maps.
Yeah, simple maps. And this one is our Google Maps. Yeah, so basically it's just a standard graphical device in R, and you can do whatever you want with it, and put some stuff on it, and like combine, and after like add some data, and just general.
One question.
Yep.
The statistic was about the languages. Can you go back to that? I didn't understand what it was about it.
Languages? No, it's like countries.
No. The first.
Programming languages. Ah, okay. Now I see. Yeah, it's like lots of data, I don't know, analysis people, analytics, or like data scientists, and they were like asking like, what is your language that you use like in your daily life?
So they asked 300 people, are there absolute figures here, or what is it?
I think it was like multiple choice of it, so you can, I think like that's all the people decided like that R is like favorite one, maybe there were like some like others or like none, I don't know how to say it. Just some advice like that, it just like a sense. But actually it was provided by this like website, and yes, they do it like every year I think, and I've seen even some numbers between years, and for this, like for last year, it's even like growing for R, so maybe our community will grow up even more with more popularity of R.
In the data from Stack Overflow, does Stack Overflow have an API, or did you scrape it?
It's like a second reference list. There's like some guy who was like interested in that stuff, and he wrote some web script for it, and you can just specify white space, what kind of languages do you want, and you will get like number, like statistics for different texts.
Nice.
Yeah, and first reference list where you can see first two topics in the blog, and about Foursquare I will put it like, I don't know, some days. I don't know, this week or next week or something. Anything more?
So how actively are you using that information within Stylight then? Is that part of your operational processes, or when you sit down to talk strategy, or
No,
is it just
I
for
mean,
fun?
It's more for fun. We use R for some stuff more related, I don't know, for analysis, when I don't know, I want to see what kind of like products I'm getting for like for feed, and what kind of like numbers they have in terms of ranking stuff. I use it like for like rapid prototyping, but I don't use it like visualization stuff to get some like significant result for it. I mean, for me it's more easy to get some insight from some real data, because you can cover like much more, and you can just use it like to present it to somebody. But like our CTO is like very smart guy, and you can say things like from data, not only from picture. I mean, it's okay just to show like what kind of distribution you have, and like why do you have like some explanation.
So for productive analysis, when you say R is rather for prototyping, used for prototyping, are you using any other for other language or other tools for your productive operational planning stuff? Figure-wise?
Yeah, we use for something. I mean, our stack is quite wide. We use some Python for some things. We use Java for some things, but we don't use like R like in everyday production things. I mean, it could be used, and even for some of servers, I have our server, or like how is the name of this package when you get installed like on server side and try to make it like more fast or like more reliable stuff like this. But no, just for prototyping and getting some insight, and after you prepare to production and build something more reliable. And yeah, with ideas that it's going to be used in production and like all stuff that could be like cached or like optimized, you're trying to optimize in that way. I mean, for prototyping you don't need it actually, you can spend like more time, but not for production.